What's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bull Central here. Hope you're all doing well. So guys, as you may have seen from my community post yesterday, the channel has hit 2,000 subscribers, so I did close the drawing for the $50 gift card to the NBAstore.com. And a winner was drawn from the online generator, and the winner selected was William Brown. William, my man, congrats. I did reach out to you through your YouTube profile last night. I have not heard back from you, but I will give you 24 hours to claim your prize from the time that this video is published. If William doesn't claim the prize, then I'll be selecting another winner, and I'll continue to do that until someone is actually able to claim it. Now, one other announcement, I've had a very generous subscriber introduce me to Discord, as I know some of you have been asking about starting this up for the channel. The subscriber bcubs1939 was kind enough to set this up, so if you're interested in joining our Discord, where we'll have group chats during the game, as well as other discussions where you can leave your hot takes for my Wednesday hot take videos, Twitter updates from beat writers, all that good stuff. Shout out to my man B Cubs for getting that started. Really do appreciate it. Now that we got that out of the way, though, let's get into today's video. And it's around this time in the season where we're about 3 weeks in, or between 10-12 games, where I like to start nerding out on stats, particularly looking at how the team stats are shaping. Because this is where the stats and overall performance metrics start showing some signs of statistical significance. Earlier on in the season, it just really isn't enough data from the little games that are played to really be able to determine anything. Granted, it's still very early on in the season, do not get me wrong, so I'm not sure that these numbers, I'm sure these numbers will likely change for a lot of the teams, but I wanted to call out a few team stats for the Bulls that I thought were interesting or surprising anyway, comparing to what they were last season. So as you know, the Bulls have started off their first 10 games 4-6, whereas last season they were 3-7 at this time. So not a huge change there. Granted, their schedule wasn't as challenging as it has been this season thus far. Just to put it in perspective, the Bulls played the Hornets, the Grizzlies, Raptors, Knicks, Cavs, and Pistons in their first 6 games last season. Only managed to go 2-4. Thanks, Jim Boylan. Now, believe it or not, the Bulls are actually 7th in the league in offense in terms of points per game so far. Compare that to last year, where they were 27th in the league. Now, that is one thing, you've started to notice right away from the Bulls, from this Bulls team, and how much more efficient they are on offense and the flow of their overall offensive coordination and ball movement from the team. Now, it's far from perfect, but it's clear Billy Donovan's system has been much more effective than what we were running last season on offense. Now, their defense, on the other hand, is where they have been struggling greatly, as they're currently 27th in the league so far this season in terms of points allowed per game, whereas they were 14th last year. It's obviously an area where, we knew that was going to be a problem going into the season when they let Chris Dunn walk, and Patrick Williams, picking him up was obviously great from a defensive standpoint, but outside of Wendell Carter Jr., who even himself has had his own struggles, the Bulls don't really have any standouts on defense. In fact, most of their guys are actually average or below average defenders. Lavine, Coby White, Lauri Markkanen, they're all great, amazing offensive players, but are not known for their defense. And now when it comes to other offensive metrics and how that's improved so far this season for the Bulls, I did find it pretty surprising how much better they have been at rebounding the ball as a whole, particularly because they've been without Lauri, and Wendell, despite having an incredible rebounding game against the Kings, hasn't been exceptional by any means in terms of crashing the boards. So far this season, they're 17th in the league in rebounding, while last year they were second to last in the entire league. And a lot of this can be attributed to the fact that Lavine, Coby, Otto have all been great at rebounding the ball well for their size and their positions. The Bulls have been better at passing the ball so far this season, 16th in the league in assists, while last year they were 24th. But under Billy Donovan, whose system is really predicated on ball and player movement, I would expect their passing as a team to be better. And it's still early in this season, so I guess I should say their passing needs to get better if they want to start becoming a winning team and be successful under Donovan's system. Now, this one might not be a surprise because it's something that's been apparent if you've been watching any of the Bulls games, but it's the amount of turnovers they commit. However, I was a bit surprised to find that they were actually the worst team in the league in taking care of the ball. Even last season under Boylan, they were 24th in the league in turnovers committed. And I guess it does just go to show that the guys are getting used to the new scheme of player and ball movement, and naturally there is going to be a bit of a learning curve, and turnovers are going to be committed as a result. And I think it is worth noting that they have been committing a lot less turnovers than they had at the outset of the season. So we are already seeing improvement on that front. Now, one that I was completely off on was their free throw shooting. I don't know about you guys, but for some reason, I've just been feeling like the Bulls have been terrible with their free throws in certain games. I mean, I even called it out in a couple of videos here, but they're actually the 4th best team in the league in terms of free throw percentage. So I guess, I don't know, I just haven't been paying close enough attention to that. But guys, what I thought was the most impressive stat, and it's an advanced stat metric, so take it for what it's worth, as I know some people don't value the accuracy of advanced stats as much, but the Bulls are currently 3rd in the league in pace, which is the number of possessions per 48 minutes against your opponent's possessions. Essentially, it's how quickly a team can move the ball in getting a possession against how quickly their opponents are able to obtain their possessions. And it's noteworthy because it's something the Bulls have always struggled with in recent years in their pace and ball movement and the amount of time with the ball in every possession. And in a league that continues to move more and more towards a pace and space offense centered around quick possessions on long distance shooting, this is critical for the Bulls to continue to adapt to that model of basketball that most teams play by. So to see them 3rd, even though it's just been 10 games, I thought it was very promising, and maybe I'm just a nerd when it comes to advanced stats, but I thought it was great to see that. Now, it doesn't mean just, moving quickly and drawing up an ISO play for a stop and pop jumper, Zach Lavine, but rather pace is moving the ball and limiting the time on every possession. Anyway, it is just 10 games into the season, so I expect some of these team stats to change from where they currently stand, particularly the Bulls. I want to see them be getting better in controlling the ball and limiting their turnovers. Their defensive numbers need to improve. I don't expect them to be an elite defensive team because, quite frankly, they just don't have the players on this roster that are known for their defense. But I would expect them to be better than 27th. Or I guess I should say it needs to be better if they want to start winning games and making a playoff run, especially when you're playing against higher quality teams. And I do like seeing their passing numbers, where they're at right now, but I would like to see that get better as well. It was better than last season, but under this new offensive system, these numbers are going to need to improve. And I think that will come with time as Coby White slowly learns how to be a better playmaker and point guard on the floor, as well as when we get Satoransky coming back off the bench. The Bulls will be taking on the Clippers this afternoon for their final game of the week. It's going to be another challenging one for the Bulls, as the Clippers are obviously a very talented team with a lot of depth and 2 All-Stars in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I imagine Patrick Williams will likely be given another tough assignment in guarding either Kawhi or PG, which would be pretty crazy. A pretty crazy welcome to the league for the rookie in guarding Giannis, LeBron, and Kawhi in his first 2 weeks in the league. But I'm sure he'll accept the challenge head on, as he did a great job guarding LeBron in their last game on Friday. LeBron even gave Patrick praise in a post-game interview, saying that he's got Kawhi-type hands and that you could tell he's laser sharp on trying to get better. And he did say Chicago has a good one. High praise from one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Otto Porter has been listed as doubtful for today's game, which is unfortunate because Otto has been such a key piece for the Bulls on both ends of the floor. And of course, the Bulls are already shorthanded as it is, so we'll see who the Bulls likely start in place of Otto. But I imagine it'll likely be Garrett Temple, since he's the one that actually started the second half of the game against the Lakers when Otto did not return after exiting the first quarter. Hopefully this won't impact the Bulls' confidence going into the final game of the week, and despite being shorthanded, seeing that they can overcome and pull out a win coming off 2 very close game losses. I'll host another live game chat for any of those who want to participate. You can also join the group Discord that was just started, which I'll link in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're a Bulls fan, as I post daily Bulls content. Thanks again, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.